Hello everyone, it's Justine. Today I'm going to be unboxing, I suppose you could call it, the card kit of the month from Spellbinders for January 2023. Wow, I think that's the first time I've said 2023 so far, but here we are. As you can see, it does look a little bit different now. So there's a few changes to the card kits. They're now going to be in this little pouch, and there's going to be different materials inside of it. So let's just open it up and check out that inspiration card, because it should have the list of everything that's inside it. So we'll zip it open. If I didn't mention already, it's called Indoor Garden. Definitely do not miss the loud tissue paper. Okay, here we go. So on this card, it kind of tells us what's inside. So we have 8 cards and envelopes. We have 20 A2 card panels. So that's a little different. They must have cut down the colored cardstock for us, which is great. We have pattern paper, we have chipboard frames, puffy stickers, chipboard elements, gemstones, die cut shapes, foam squares, and adhesive tape. So let's just go through each thing. So I guess the little thing that's different with this card kit now is that there's 8 cards and envelopes and not 10. So there's a few less card bases, but that's just fine because you can always make your own with white cardstock. Next we have 20 A2 card panels, so that must be these. Just open them up. And this is honestly easier for me because typically when I get a card kit, the first thing I do is cut them down to this A2 size. So I am pretty happy about this. It looks like there's 4 of each color. So we have blue, green, bright yellow, light pink, and white. Wonderful. Let's see what else we have here. We have the pattern paper. Oh, that looks like it's also a little bit different. It's not in a pad anymore. Must be loose. Oh, that's just pretty. So let's see. I don't know how many we'll have, so I guess we'll count here. And we have some florals, green, still have a foiled paper, which is always pretty. Oh, there's 2 of those. So that's 5, 6. I think this was also a repeat. Am I just losing it? Oh no. It does look similar, but it is not the same. And of course I lost count, so hang on. Okay, there's 10. Another foiled one. Ooh. Okay, I might have just miscounted, but I think I counted 21, but perhaps it was a mistake that I got 2 of the foiled papers, the white ones. Let's see. 1, 2. So maybe that was just a oops. But I think there might be 20 or 21 of these. So that's a little bit different than before, but still single-sided, which I prefer for my crafting because I really don't like choosing between 2 different papers. I like both of them. I don't want to sacrifice a backside and put glue on it for no one to ever see again. So I like single-sided paper like this. Okay, let's see what else. Oh, chipboard frames. And if you watched my December videos, you know that I love chipboard frames because they're just beautiful on cards. They add a lot of dimension and texture. Ooh, that's different. So we have some film strips, and these are really neat. Cool. Okay, so we have 3 of those. And then we have 2 what I would call like Polaroid size. And then we have some dog-eared rectangles. Very nice. One more of that larger picture frame. And then 3 little ones. And it does say Picture Perfect on this one and True Happiness on this one. Nice. Okay. What else do we have? We have puffy stickers. Love those. Ooh, black and white. Now, I have been stuck in a black and white ink route, so I think this might pull me back in because I don't know, there's just something stunning about black and white together. I'm really drawn to it, so these are right up my alley. And I like that they have different shapes for the sentiments, and they're not just simply the rectangles. If you can see here, this one has the dog-eared corners, this one has the banner die, or the banner edge, and we have some little pentagons, we have some hexagons, we have more arrows, so those are really neat. And I definitely think I'll be using these because I don't see a stamp set in here, so I think these will be what I lean on for my sentiments. Next we have the gemstones, which I think are part of my favorite parts of the kit because I love adding these onto so many different cards, and I'm not very shy about using them, and I typically have some left over at the end, so I love the amount that they give us in card kits, and it doesn't look like that has changed at all, which is perfect. Plus, I have a lot of sequins right now, so I'm loving the gemstones. Oh, looks like I skipped the chipboard elements, so let's go back to those. So if you're not familiar what a chipboard element is, it's just basically a thick sticker. So it's made out of chipboard, which is a little bit thicker than paper. It's almost a cardboard consistency, and it has a light stick on the back. So you can just simply peel it off and pop it under your project. Typically I move my pieces around a lot, so I do add a little liquid glue behind them, but that's just my preference. So there's 2 sides of these, and they're all sorts of different things. Sometimes they're sentiments like these, and sometimes they are objects or some kind of focal point of the card. Like this plant shop would be a focal point on a card, or this rainbow banner, or even these 3 hexagons would be kind of cute to nest together. So chipboard elements are definitely something that I use up completely when I use card kits. I'll come back to the die cut shapes in just a minute. We have, lastly, besides the die cut shapes, we have the double-sided sticky tape and the foam squares. If you're not familiar with what these are, the double-sided tape is for sticking down paper, die cut shapes, really anything that you want stuck onto a card, you can use that double-sided tape. Now the foam squares are for using on your projects to give you dimension. So it's just going to pop up any piece of paper or a die cut shape that you want lifted off of the project, but it is a sticker, so it will help keep that piece on but lift it up. So those are very helpful to have, especially if you're new to crafting and you're not wanting to go out and invest all of this money in buying foam squares in a package and buying tape in a package. This comes all together, which is really great. So what I like to do when I get card kits with my die cut shapes is I like to lay them out on these boxes, or I guess it's kind of like a tray, but technically it was a box from an iPad keyboard that my dad gave to me. So I typically use it to lay out all my shapes. So I'm going to do that off camera, use my little tray here, and get them all sorted. And when I am finished sorting, I will come back and just kind of talk about what we have in here and show you all of the pieces laid out. The reason why I do this is really just so I can see with like kind of a broad scheme, a broad picture of what pieces I have from the kit to make as many cards as possible. When we used to have the 10 card bases, I would start from there, but I've made up to 55 cards in one card kit before with the old way of how they supplied the materials. I know that's kind of a stretch, but I don't know how many I will be able to make with our new card kits because there is just a little bit less material, but who knows, I might have to get creative, but I know that there'll definitely be enough to make at least 8 cards, probably 20 if I had to just kind of guess going off of what I see here with pattern paper and such. So I will go ahead and unpackage these die cut shapes, and I'll see you in just a few seconds of video edit magic. Now that I have unwrapped all of the die cut shapes, I will just talk through how I sort each kind of category. So I have hearts and shapes over here, and I have kind of everything miscellaneous over here as well. So I have a little bugs, and I like to call these things over here bits and bobs because they're just kind of a little bit of everything. Now this was all about plants in this box. So we have all the greens and then a few flowers down here and a couple suns. And then I have one more box, and this is what I call the scene builder box. So everything here I could use to make some kind of a scene for inside of a home or something else. And I thought that this picture with this woman and the butterfly was just stunning. So I don't think it's quite for the scene building, but it's a bigger piece, so it landed in this box as well. So from here, when I go to make cards, my quick process I'll just go through is I lay out my cardstock on my desk, then I lay out pattern paper that will that I want to use from the kit. Then I will just simply divide out as I see what matches with the die cut pieces and the pattern paper. Then I will pull in my chipboard elements and I will finish with the sentiment. So that's kind of my quick run through of my process. I haven't made a full process video yet, but that's kind of how it is. But if you have any questions about how to use the kit, go ahead and ask them in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit the like button. And then stick around on my channel here, and I will be making cards with this and show you the process of making those cards. So if you're interested in seeing that, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and stick around for those videos coming on up. All right, well, as you can see here, my desk is a disaster because this is my creative process. So I did want to just mention, I know I said that there was not a stamp set for the card kit of the month, and that is true, but there is an add-on. So there is this add-on which has a ton of different stamp sentiments on it. Just put some paper behind so you can take a look. So you can go ahead and add that on to your subscription to go with the really any club item. So there's tons of sentiments on here that are appropriate for multiple different occasions. Happy birthday. I really do like this one, Stitched with Love. I think that I would love to put that on the back of some of my Stitch cards. Thank you is always great. You brighten my everyday. It's very charming. So I think that this is a great add-on to have. And they also have an add-on for the die. So this month it kind of goes with the theme of the kit, which is plants. Again, sorry for my messy work surface, but this is just how I kind of go through everything, and I have colors everywhere and bits and bobs, pieces of scraps. But anywho, this is a look at the die. It's called a Happy Plant, and it really is cute. It has a little face that you could choose to add on to the onto the planter part. So you could just make the planter as it is, or you could add this funny little face right onto the planter. So I'm not trying to be negative at all, because I really do enjoy using the kits, and I'm sure that there is going to be some people with opinions about the changes, because there's always opinions when anything changes. So I did just want to say that this is still a really great value for what they're offering. And, you know, if people aren't big stampers, they don't have to have this with their kit. If people don't have a die cutting machine, they don't have to have the die. So the new way of having the card kit is a little bit of it's a great way for people who really aren't equipped with maybe tons of inks or acrylic blocks or a die cutting machine or a lot of paper that they could pull from and use to make different dies. If this is a great thing to give maybe as a gift for someone who's interested in crafting but doesn't have a lot of tools or doesn't want to go ahead and invest in a whole bunch of tools. But it kind of sparked my memory that I should probably mention something about it. I've been working on some cards for the 10 cards 1 kit, but I'll probably do the 8 cards 1 kit this month, because there's 8 card bases that come in the kit. But I typically would make a card that looks something like this, with pattern paper, cardstock matting it on the back, maybe a strip to give a little bit of a scene, if you will. I have these 2 floating shelves. I have kind of a focal point, and then I need something to go here, and really I also need a sentiment. So what I typically like to do is to put, I wouldn't use this whole piece because it's a little bit too big, but I would maybe cut it about here and then stamp either with some white paper and maybe a green ink from my stash, maybe sending big hugs or thinking of you always, just something kind of cheerful that would go with this scene. So I did just want to mention again, you can add on the stamp, you can add on the die. It's totally up to you, and I think this is a great way to kind of customize the club experience, if you will. Anyway, so if you're interested in seeing what happens after all of this craziness is over on my desk, stay tuned for the 8 cards 1 kit videos that should be popping up here in January. Back to the video. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you get to craft soon. Have a great day. Bye.